reality is, as Mr. Friday Night, I'm the guy that's here to steal the show. Every time I come out to the ring, I know exactly what the fans think about me. I don't care what they think about me. I'm not here to please. I'm here to get the results and put on the match of the night. Quite frankly, it's simple. And I think that in my time here lately, like to think that I've accomplished that. I've had multiple title opportunities. I'm currently the WCWO Gunslinger Champion. The reality at the end of the day is what you see is what you get. And I'm not here to play around. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money and draw people. My job is to get you hooked. And with Mike Noble and Mr. Friday Night, you get hooked.
Welcome to Mosaic Minds, the podcast where every episode is a colorful blend of perspectives, ideas, and conversation. Each week, our diverse team of hosts brings their unique backgrounds, experiences, and interests to the table. Mosaic Minds is your invitation to join the conversation to see the world through a kaleidoscope of viewpoints. So grab a seat, tune in, and let the mosaic unfold before you. All right, welcome back to Mosaic Minds Podcast. My name's Nick, this is Jason, and we're stepping into the world of professional wrestling tonight with a rising star, Mike Noble, also known as Mr. Friday Night. He made his debut in April of 2024 and has already made a name for himself as the WCWO Gunslinger Champion and a former AVW Tag Team Champion. So hailing from New Jersey, Mike brings a hard-hitting style to the ring, and we're excited to learn about his journey, so let's go ahead and dive in. Welcome to the show. How you doing, Mike?
Thank you guys so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Just give me a background of your life, kind of like where you started, what got you into wrestling, and what kind of connections got you to where you're at right now.
For sure, most definitely. So I was born in Jersey City, New Jersey. If we go back into my childhood life, which we won't go into that time, maybe some other time, it's been a lot of ups and downs. I very much had to bounce around and move around. Sorry for the noise if you guys are hearing that in the background. So I got a roommate and baby and stuff. So, but yeah, you know what I mean? I moved around, bounced around a lot. I ended up settling here in Indianapolis. Probably one of the better choices I made in my life. Growing up, diehard wrestling fan. I kind of strayed away from it in my teenage years. I was one of those kids that got bullied a lot for liking the wrestling because, to me, it was always real. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I was one of those kids that got bullied out, watched it as much. Plus, access and everything made it a little bit difficult to really enjoy it and stuff. Sometimes some products weren't really hitting like that, but I always enjoyed it. As everything was starting to renaissance and stuff, I was always watching. I was always keeping my eyes and keeping my tags on everything. And I always told myself that would be the most fun thing to do. I remember old days while I was in my pre-teens and my teens, my brother and I, Bobby, we would sit there and wrestle each other off of a pontoon boat on the mattresses, doing all this backyard crap, bro. We probably should have died. I'm not going to lie to you. At some point we should have got hurt. I don't know how we did it, but that love for it, that passion was always there. So, at a certain point when I was hitting about 24, 25, I was like, if you're going to do it, now's the chance. Yeah. And don't just do it all the way.
Mike, my days, being a basketball player, I had no idea what I was doing, but I watched Junkyard Dog, Hulk Hogan, Paul Mr. Wonderful, Orndorff. We're jumping off tables and stuff like that, and we're doing the elbows, and then every once in a while you miss by 6 inches and you almost break somebody's ribs as opposed to laughing your butt off or whatever. So I'm gonna throw you right to the dub on a Friday night, man. WCWO downtown Indy. It's rare and the lights come on. I'm not gonna steal your thunder, man, but I'm gonna tell you, for the fans that haven't been, it's an unheralded secret. You got to get out there. You got to support this. It's a great organization. Now, I'm not going to steal it, but I'm going to say it. So, Mr. Friday Night persona, flip it on a little bit. Tell us when you stand on the turnbuckles and you're kind of being a little arrogant and cocky. I'm going to stop there, man, because I'm going to let you take on your persona a little bit and kind of go with it.
It's just funny that you're bringing it up, because the reality is, as Mr. Friday Night, I'm the guy that's here to steal the show. Every time I come out to the ring, I know exactly what the fans think about me. I don't care what they think about me. I'm not here to entertain and to please. I'm here to get the results and put on the match of the night. Quite frankly, it's simple. And I think that in my time here lately, like to think that I've accomplished that. I've had multiple title opportunities. I'm currently the WCWO Gunslinger Champion.
Oh yeah.
We have a bunch of new champions in the building as of late. Some I'll tip my hat to, some others I won't. But currently, as it stands, I am the longest reigning champion in the company. So I like to hold that to myself to a high regard. Maybe not by much, but it counts. The reality at the end of the day is what you see is what you get. And I'm not here to play around. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money and draw in people like our good friend Jason right here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My job is to get you hooked. Yeah. And with Mike Noble and Mr. Friday Night, you get hooked.
So have you always had that persona? Has that kind of changed over the years?
With still being wrestling, you know, I mean, this is just my more outgoing personality. Okay. You know what I mean? This is me cranked to 11.
Okay.
I've been, like, obviously, like I said, moving around and stuff. You see, you see a lot of things, you live a lot of things. My life wasn't really that easy. So I know the difference between, like what's a life or death situation, what's not. I've seen strife. I've seen struggle and issues. I've overcame all those on my own. I didn't need nobody on my back. So when I came into this world of professional wrestling, it's me against everybody. Yeah, it's a big, not even just in the city of Indianapolis, not even just in the state of Indiana, not just the world. That's where my thought process is.
Mike,
I've always seen myself as that guy that had a $1 million pipe dream idea in my head. I was going to do something. And over time, I just realized professional wrestling, that's where Mr. Mike Noble's going to shine. That's where Mr. Friday Night Mike Noble, Mr. Must See, Mr. Match of the Night, that is where he is going to make his mark in the world.
Hey, so at the dub, man, the lights shine brighter when your match is there because you're the champ. So let's take an interesting path for the crowd at large, okay? So let's talk a tactician. You know, I'm a little older than you. That's not a secret, right? And by the way, this isn't my real hair, man. I got to have a little persona when I'm interviewing you, man. This is that goofy looking fur hat that everybody knows.
Your secret is the same for me.
And I'm going to tell you right now, man, when you raise that belt after it, let's be real with you. You don't always get the clapping and stuff, but I always say, let's take the championship back to Jersey. I'm not a tagline for you. I'm just saying that's what I always say. And I love seeing those stares because people are looking back at me like, who's this guy back here? But I definitely support your efforts. So let's talk about this, man. The curious question I have being an athlete, everything but wrestling, okay, and being jealous that I never got the opportunity, if you want to know the truth about it. But here's the question I have for you, man. When you're wrestling a big dude that outweighs you by 80 pounds, versus a dude that you could break in half that's 60 pounds less than you. I'm not mentioning names. But where is there more room for error, or how does – I don't want to say fear because I know you don't want to hear that, but where is the room for error a little bit greater? Is it the guy that you can break in half, or is it the guy that could maybe rough you up a little bit? Take that from there if you don't mind.
You know, that's a really good question, but the reality is, at least for me, I don't really find an issue in either one. If it's a big man, I'm just going to chop you down. I'm going to break you in pieces by pieces by pieces, because if you're a big guy, if you don't got a leg to stand on an arm to hit me with, what else do you got? You're just a man. No matter how big you are, if I take everything away from you, you can't fight. And with a smaller guy, it's cool because it's more of my comfort zone of I get to be a little bit more creative, you know? I get to think about how I want to break them down. I can still do the same thing. I can break them down piece by piece too. But it's more about how do I want to do it? Do I want to do it with a little bit more high impact? Do I want to catch them off guard by going airborne, you know? And obviously, you've seen me in the ring. I'm no stranger to pulling off a dirty tactic or two, and I got my advocate in the corner these days, so I have someone that's always whispering those sweet somethings in my ear to keep me sharp and keep me motivated. So I think personally would be, it's just a matter of pick your poison.
Absolutely. I'm gonna encourage you, cut me a 30-second promo to get Nick, because he's gonna be out at the dub. He's just got to do some timing. He wants to bring his boys there to watch. But throw him a 30-second promo just saying, hey, man, come out. This is why you should come out and watch us. Look at the quality athletes that are at, downtown, within 5 minutes of the Pacers Arena or whatever. But throw a little promo to him for the first time.
This will make a great soundbite, too.
This will make a great soundbite, absolutely. Go ahead, Mike.
And I'll say keep it as a soundbite, but I just want to preface, I'm not the biggest fan of all these guys. Me personally, I have some of my issues and my qualms with some of them in the ring, right? But if I am going to be legitimately honest, WCWO, to me, is the best wrestling company in the city of Indianapolis. Not let alone maybe even with me here, guaranteed. The greatest company in the state of Indiana. We're one of the longest running promotions. We have stayed at 1151 Kentucky Avenue for over almost 40, 50 years, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I apologize. I probably should do a little bit more history study on that. But the reality is, this company has bred talent after talent. It's made monster after monster, big name after big name. Jason, you've seen the people that are going to be there this Friday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chavo Guerrero,
Legend.
Mr. Anderson, formerly known as Mr. Kennedy. We just got word the other day that Mark Henry is going to be there.
World's strongest man.
World's strongest man. One of the biggest names in wrestling history.
Yeah.
And that's because the WCWO, or as we call it, the Dub, has always shown up, shown out, and put people on notice. I could list the talent alone. Let me just go through that. IK3, one of the greatest wrestlers I've ever seen. Well, no matter how you feel about it. Dex Royal, the highlight reel, one of the greatest tag teams, again, I've personally seen. I'm a little biased because I'm
athleticism unmatched, absolutely.
But again, this talent that I've been going up against, and these talents that I've been putting into work every single day, it's surely one of a kind. And I really like to think that with the way that we present the product, anybody can enjoy this. Especially if you love to see my beautiful mug.
Love it, man.
You debuted not that long ago, right? Like it was April?
It was April 2024 at WCWO Absolution.
So what was that feeling like? Were you all on your nerves? Did you just come out of the gate swinging, confident? Like how what was that like?
Obviously, it's first time, so you're more nervous than anything. We had Comic-Con right around the wind, like literally that same weekend. So if it went good, maybe I get to do Comic-Con, do a whole bunch of shows throughout the rest of the weekend. That's a great opportunity to get your feet wet, get your foot in the door, at least get your first few bad ones out the way if they're bad, But if it's bad, might not get another one for a while,
Exactly.
And I like to think for the most part it went really well. I caught a mean little bruise on me. I took a nice knee to the face, had a tooth not go through a lip. But honestly, the way I saw it, for that to be the first match, first battle wounds, let's get it out the way. That's cool. What's next?
You got to be Tommy Tough Nuts to do that.
And that's the way it's got to be in this business. You realize it doesn't matter how sore you are from the last show. It doesn't matter how tired you are or how beat up you are. Someone's out there outworking you. Someone out there might want it more than you. And if you don't keep on it, if you don't keep on your fitness, if you don't keep on your cardio, your diet, your training, you don't study film, like it's more than just watching Monday Night Raw live. This is something that a lot of our trainers like to say. It's more than just watching the moves. It's understanding all of this stuff to really be great in this business.
This really impresses me, man, because you're a tactician. If you look at historical wrestlers, and I know it's a different organization, but if you look at a guy like they claim that Bret the Hitman Hart is one of the most technical wrestlers, regardless of generation. We can agree or disagree on that. But what I'm going to tell you is, you're a student of the game, man. You take pride in your craft. You do that. Let's just say the arena's full, and let's just say you don't have a lot of support. But let's say at the end of the night, you raise the belt. That's all that's important. Do you like not being liked? Would you rather be popular? Do you consider yourself a heel? Do you consider yourself not? Explain to me what you feel you are, and then I'm going to give you an opinion kind of out in the seats what I think, and we're going to kind of compare notes a little bit.
See, for me personally, before I got into professional wrestling, at a certain point in my life, I wasn't maybe the most enjoyable or likable person, right? So I feel like, and plus obviously besides that, I played sports in high school and I did a bunch of club stuff during my younger adult years. You know what I mean? Like when you're not the favorite or when you're in hostile territory, you feel it, you know? And me personally, honestly, I've just learned over my life, you have to revel in that. You have to be able to adapt. It's just like if you're a football player, if you're Pat Mahomes or Josh Allen, if you're Pat Mahomes and playing in Buffalo, you are not the most liked person in that city right now. You might be the most hated. How are you going to respond to that? How do you react to that? And quite frankly, when I go out there, you hear them, they try and boo me out the building. But the reality is, if I shy off of that, and if I get scared off of that, I only prove them right, one. I prove myself wrong, too. And quite frankly, it just messes with you. It messes with your performance. And pardon my language, I'll be damned if these people mess me up. If Bruce McGar in the crowd messes me up with himself barely being able to stand up without some assistance, he's getting on me. Nope, not happening.
So do you kind of egg him on, like antagonize him, or do you just kind of ignore him? Like how do you deal with it?
When it comes to like if I do something and they say something, if I got a second to talk, I'm gonna talk. It does not matter to me what your opinions are of me, because guess what? You're still here and you're watching me.
You don't have a choice.
You love to see me, you're either rooting to see me lose, or you're secretly wanting to see me win.
Yep.
And we saw that when I won the WCWO Gunslinger Championship, because I believe Jason was there, wasn't he?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'll say, I'm sure he's going to touch on it. Some people didn't like it. A lot of people didn't like it. Let's be real. But I heard a couple out there. He's seen them, they're buying the merch. They're buying the t-shirts. They're waiting out there to hope to see me. Some like the ones that support me, I'm not going to be mean. You know what I mean? You're supporting me. You cheer for me. I'm going to respect that a little bit. But those people that boo me, and I see them out there when they boo me, when you're over there booing me to the moon, and then when I come out there, you try to be buddy.
Yeah, it's like, where is that persona? Yeah, like you're putting on a persona to be an audience. So
I don't chase fans. I barely chase liquor.
There you go. A shout out to Nick, and there's correlation here because it's sports, man, but it's wrestling. You've done a good job with the football, but a shout out to Nick's sons, man. They just recently busted the pins in bowling. They're heading to the semi-state, Nick, in Terre Haute this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The correlation to that is not just a random shout out in a wrestling arena, right? So the shout out is when you're knocking down 10 pins in the bowling. I'm going to get a little controversial with you here because we got to shake the crowd up a little bit. What's some of your victims that you've knocked the pins down while you've retained that belt Friday night after Friday night at the Dub? Let's go ahead and have you mention a couple victims, and then I'm going to have you mention a couple buddies. The camaraderie that you have maybe with your buddies.
So going through that list, I took the belt off the Man B. Sadari. Not only did I take the belt off of the Man B. Sadari, I got him fired that night. He was so sure that he was going to win the championship that he staked his job on it.
Wow.
And if you want to watch the footage, you can have your opinions of how it was won, but at the end of the day, new champ and new. There's not the result is the result. Nobody can change that. He had said he wanted to go. He went. But beyond that, I've beaten one of the greater territorial champions in company history. His name's Phoenix, formerly known as Jake Phoenix. I beat IK3 and Zach Nova in a triple threat. I faced Cecil Cerveza in the one-on-one. Crushed it on him. I'm more of a tequila guy, so I had to do it. You know what I mean? I don't like cervezas.
Lime and salt, right?
Yeah, exactly. No sugar. Come on now. And then after that, I had a match with Congo Kong. I got the belt still at the end of the day. Beautiful thing about a champion's advantage. If I don't get pinned, I don't lose the belt. So we got out of there. But I like to think I survived that, so we'll add him to the list. I'll give Congo Kong his credit. That's a big guy. I've beaten Too Loud Timmy Jackson, Andre Shrey, and Cameron the Waterboy Cross. That's so far been I believe, every name, so far.
Got a lot of epitaphs on those graves, right?
Oh, yeah. And I'm sure that a lot of them want another shot at it. Speaking of, if we want to go into it with another shot, like this Friday on the free show of Thunderstorm.
Let's get it, man. Get it.
I have a title shot with Zach Nova, which first and foremost, as I stated earlier, longest reigning champion in the company currently, actively. Why is that guy not being shown on the main? You would think that guy that's putting on match after match after match and defending his title time after time and again and succeeding time after time again, he would be more prominently presented. So while I was frustrated about being on the pre-show, I've decided that Mr. Zach Nova just gets to be the next unlucky victim. And I like to think that Zach works hard. He does. I've seen him put in the work. He is definitely overcame a lot and grown throughout the time since he debuted from being a referee. And the Supernova Sensation moniker he's got, it fits him. It definitely fits the bill in a certain sense, but he's not Mike Noble. And that's just the reality of it. Especially with my advocate, the superstar TJ Powers by my side. I don't think that anybody can really take the spell off of me in this company.
No, am I right that Powers was telling me that they're looking at Mount Rushmore to take like a rock and put your face up there with one of those guys? I mean, I could have sworn they've already got the chisel up on the mountain. Is that a confirmed rumor?
Some good photos of me, with the championship holding high. I think those should be hung up in the loop.
Exactly, man. The belt's got to be on the loop.
Sistine Chapel, get them up there in Sistine Chapel.
Exactly.
You know how Notre Dame has football Jesus?
Oh yeah,
like champion Jesus,
touchdown Jesus. Now I got to ask you this, and I don't want to get too personal with you. I want to take a little bit of Mosaic thought here, a little bit away from wrestling. Now, Mike Noble. Real name, ring name.
Real name.
Okay, cool. That helps people kind of track you and follow you. So
I like to think that, authenticity sticks. One, having the last name Noble, I like to think that it just has a nice ring to it. Fun fact, back after I graduated high school, I tried to do a little music stint, like every other kid in the 2016s tried to do. And, then I went by my last name as my moniker, Noble. And a lot of people liked and gravitated to that pretty well, I like to think. And, so I liked the idea of keeping my.
Well, hold on. I want to talk about the music real quick. So what kind of music did you play? Did you sing? Did you play the guitar?
I was, I laugh at it now, but I mean, I had fun with it. I was a SoundCloud rapper type guy. I did a couple shows out within Indianapolis. I did, some shows out in Kentucky by Bowling Green area. Other than that, just did a lot of recording and stuff. I went through a change in my life at a certain point, and it just stopped being fun to me.
Yeah.
And I've noticed how difficult the hip hop music game is for a guy
in Indianapolis too.
Indianapolis, and that's no slight to the industry. It's just a nod to all those guys out there.
317's kind of it's aggressive. I'll leave it at that. I'm not part of it, but I've heard, so I can tip my cap to that.
There's some hidden gems for sure. One of my an artist I've known really well for a long time. His name is James Khalid. He is the guy that has my entrance music, Strange Things. It's on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, all the streaming platforms. If you want to put it on your Instagram reel, it's on there. TikTok, if you still got it.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I've always I was tapped in with that for a long time, so I've kept a couple of good connections through that. It would be fun to probably do it again one day, but I think right now I'm right there in the correct lane that I should be in.
Yeah.
So one of the things I really like to do with athletes is you got to get someone that's never been or someone that's a fan to walk down kind of memory lane with you. So here's what I want to ask you, man. So at the Dub, I think we could smell the popcorn. I think people are starting to arrive 45 minutes. They're starting to walk across the street. Seats are starting to fill. We always got the front rows filled because you pay a little bit of a premium for that. We're always starting to fill in the back rows. What I'm curious for you to say is, if you know you're going to go out and let's say bell time's approximately 7:30, that's real time for you. Let's say you're going to go out there approximately 8:30. What are you feeling from the time you warm up, maybe an hour out, to maybe 5 minutes to bell, and then bell rings? Drop the hammer on that just to give me some insight and kind of live vicariously through kind of that preparation and mindset that you have leading up to that bell.
So I come in on a dub Friday, probably around 4:35 p.m. I like to get stretched out, loosened up, you know. If I like to try and get run some ropes, get anything I want to try and do for funsies out the way. That way, when it comes closer to when the doors open, I am getting ready to get changed. I should be ready by around 7. It doesn't take me very long to get changed and stuff. My gear is easy. I keep everything packed and ready in like a certain order. That way I can just boom, 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 boom. I'll figure out where I'm at by around like where I'm at on the card and stuff and all that good jazz. Around 7, sometimes 7. This depends on when we have our meeting. At that point, I'm getting in my zone. I'm doing push-ups. We have a little weight room in the back, so I'll hit a couple curls, you know, get my body looking a nice, decent little pump. That way, just have a nice look going for me. By the time I'm getting ready to go to the curtain, I need to be entirely locked in. Sometimes it's difficult, you know, sometimes you're not having the best day or you don't feel the greatest, but you got to lock in, because by the time I shoot through that curtain, I have to be 100% involved.
Do you have anything you do that to get you kind of in that mode? Like, do you listen to any kind of like music or you know, like go and yell at yourself in the mirror, or, you know, whatever? Like, do you have any kind of like any ritual or anything that gets you amped up to run out there out of the curtain?
I've had like different little things I've tried to do. I've been trying to figure out what really sticks for me. I like to think that before I go out there, what's really helping me lately is, you know, I'll sit in the back part of a locker room somewhere kind of like tucked off, and I'll just close my eyes. I'll just kind of visualize things, you know, like visualize me walking out. I try and just walk myself through it. I like to think that mental preparation is the biggest part of the sport, because if you're not locked in, that's when things can get wonky, things can get dangerous. Somebody can get hurt. You can get hurt.
Yep.
The last thing I want to do is put on a bad performance, especially for the fans that come in, whether or not they want to boo me or not.
Right.
Exactly.
And whether or not I don't care about them or how stupid they are, how fat they are.
It's just something else, man. Because like
how bad the kids are. Sorry, I'm rambling.
No, I got it.
But either way, they pay money, and I'm being paid.
Yep.
So when those two things happen, something good's got to come out of it.
Mike, I just want to throw out to the local fans, you know, let's focus on the fans that haven't been, but let's also focus on the fans that have been there. It's so cool to see even like little kids yelling across the ring and like challenging, and this person likes this person, the chants that go on, the lighting. I think the production value is very good, in my opinion. There's a lot of cool things that go on, a lot of things that happen. Talk to me a little bit about just the grind of like, because I'm used to basketball, like my elbows are hurt, my knees are hurting. I sound like a wimp, you know, because I know for a fact that you hurt. But tell me a little bit about like what it's like. In my world, I'm going to say maybe you got body slammed X amount of times, but just walk a person through the preparation and training that it takes, because a person has to be a badass just to want to take a beating just to get ready to have that first match. So talk to me a little bit about the getting in the ring for the first time that you had to do to be at the top of the sport.
Absolutely. Well, from day one, first thing you learn is how to bump. You learn how to bump, and you learn how to get upright. You learn how to lock up. The very important things that really show like what you're doing, and that you're not someone that doesn't know what they're doing. Because again, like if someone gets paired up with you and you're having this match with them, and you can tell they don't know what they're doing, now it's just a little bit extra stress. But after that, those next few weeks consist of, you know, you're chain wrestling, you're learning how to be more technical, your cardio, especially your cardio and your technicality. And by a couple weeks, you'll learn some more advanced things. I'm not going to go into the full thing because I'm not going to give away the whole spiel. Can't give away the formula, you know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly.
But, you know, like every time that you are taking that next step up, they're pushing you 10 times harder. Even now, while I come into trainings, because they know what we're doing and where each and every single person on this roster is at when it comes to training, they're pushing you 10 times harder to be 10 times better. That way, maybe here in a couple months, you never know. Who knows? Mike Noble can't be Outlaw champion, but by then I'll be ready, because we take that time, we take that effort, and because, at least to me personally, if you're not going to give 110% to this, then why do it?
Yeah.
Now listen
if
here,
you're not
brother.
Gonna walk in and listen, like, why do it?
Now listen here, brother. I want you to be real respectful with me right now.
Oh, yeah. Hogan guy, Jesus Christ.
What do you think about the formal, informal Reggie Edwards as the commish? Are you going to sign on the dotted line for upcoming? Give me a little bit of thoughts, because he's been on our podcast. So, so just so you know, so give me an honest opinion. And he's going to laugh, but you can cut it any way you want. But be real with me a little bit and then joke a little bit. But I'm going to let you take that there, brother.
Hopefully he doesn't try and suspend or fine me, God forbid. But, you know, Reggie has been someone that, for the most part, I like to think has always had my back. He's seen me put in the work, put in the effort. He's seen me try and make my best attempt at keeping everything entertaining and bringing people in and keeping people wondering what's going to happen. I will say at times, his decision making is a really big thing that irks me, because, number one, I know I told you the list of how many people I've defended this title against. Why am I defending it against so many people? Why are all those people thinking that they're worth it? Why does Reggie think they're worth it? You know, questions that irk me, but I'll chuck it up to, he's got a job to do. So, I think that, other than that though, he's a good person. He means a lot well. And he does a lot for this company. I'd like to think that, especially the way he's been probably running himself ragged the last few weeks. He has definitely earned his flowers, so I would definitely give him those. But besides the fact that sometimes he can annoy the absolute piss out of me, Reggie's an alright guy.
Hey, so I got to ask you this, man. I got to live vicariously through you just one time, man. When you jump on that second...
I'm about to start charging you for this.
I'd be broke, right? So when you jump on the second turnbuckle, man, and you raise that belt, I can't give it justice, man, but you always put it on. It's hard because you're turned opposite to us. But anyway, right or left shoulder, you throw your hands up. I'm just going to let you take it from there, man. What's that feeling after you just got that dub at the dub? Look how I did that, right? Dub squared. And then you're on the second turnbuckle, man. I'm going to make one of my dollars back there, so I'm poor broke, you know what I mean? But tell me what that feeling's like after you've just had a good presentation, and presentation's the wrong word. You had a good match and you kicked ass out there, and you're on the second rope or second belt there. Take it from there, man. I
mean, quite frankly, there's no better feeling than getting your hand raised. You know what I mean? Being victorious, especially the role I've been on lately. You know, you keep seeing it get raised up, especially when those first few months, you know, maybe you weren't getting your hand raised that much. Maybe you were getting opportunities, but you kept coming up short. But at the end of the day, Mr. Friday Night has been on the run of his life lately. And constantly seeing that hand raised, constantly seeing that belt on my shoulder, that validation that something that you're doing is truth in it, and it exists. And it's right here, either on my chest, on my shoulder, on my waist. If I want to turn it around and put it on my ass, sorry.
Hey, no.
You're all good. And then you got that head nod after you've done it. You got to have the head nod.
I'll be nice here on my butt.
Yep.
But when I do it Ziggler style, put it on my rear end, dance around, I can do that because I'm the champion. And I've validated this because I'm putting in the work.
Yeah. Now, I hear kids in the background. So I take it you have a family, right?
I have brothers, sisters, and stuff.
Did they come out and cheer you on?
They do. My little sister Lindsay, especially. You know, she is always been one of my bigger fans. She came to my first show, almost every show in between. If I was on the road, she wanted to hop in the car with me and go see it.
That's awesome.
She is honestly one of my favorite people on this planet Earth, dude. She is so sweet. She wants to be in the military and be a doctor or both, combat med. She's
how old is she?
14.
Okay.
So she's like a freshman in high school, but she's doing all the things she needs to do. 3 to 4.0 student, Ben Davis University stuff. I could give a whole nother 40 minutes about how awesome.
That's awesome. And I'm sure that gives you a whole nother reason to want to continue to be the champ, right? Like, I'm sure she's always kind of in the back of your head.
Hey, sorry to be Mr. Velveeta here and be cheesy, man, but good job, bro. Good job. That's a fist bump to you in all seriousness. That's a good job.
I appreciate it, man. I would say, yeah, like, when it comes to, like, my friends, my family and stuff, you know, I mean, that's where that's where they get the more brought down, like, nobody, you know, probably wouldn't be that nice to them if I was doing the things I do to other people.
Let's talk the audience real quick, Mike. Here, so I'm learning the industry. I believe the guy's last name is Fine. Is it Marcus? Maybe the gentleman that sits there in the front row, off to the left, right by the aisle. Is that his name?
Yeah, and his wife Kelly.
Okay, so let's get the fans. I'm going to have you reserve your opinion, but I'm more interested, like, from what I've heard, he went to 100 productions across the Midwest last year. I think he said, like, 8,700 photos. Like, super fan, I think, isn't appropriate. Can you maybe let give a small shout out? Because, I mean, he's somebody from a fan's perspective in the Midwest. Could you maybe take it from there for me?
Oh, absolutely. You know, sometimes, like, they're one of those groups of people, you know, that doesn't really like Mike Noble, and shocker, you know, some jealousy and envy and all that good stuff. But Marcus Fine and his wife Kelly, God bless them both, because they are probably the most vigilant wrestling fans on the independent scene that I've ever seen. They make almost every single show, unless they are like there's like a reason why they absolutely can't. Photos that they've captured, the moments in just my career alone that they've been able to bring to life for other people, to bring in fans like Jason and Nick here soon, hopefully.
Friday.
You know, they constantly bring people, like, attention to us, you know, and that's something that you can always appreciate, because win, lose, draw, yay, boo, whatever it is, they come and show out and they support all those guys. Every single person, and not just our company, and companies all over the state and even beyond in the other states in the Midwest.
Do you guys know what their story is? Like, what, you know, kind of like how they got to.
I just know they're super fans and lived. I mean, he got the table when somebody jumped off the ladder and broke it. He got the signed table, so he got the table.
Yeah, I mean,
the dude's like, he's able. It's awesome.
I feel bad once he asked it, because I've never really taken the time to figure out the story myself, per se, but I know that through meeting them through others and hearing others talk about them, and even just like if you look at their Facebook wall, they pull up old memories and everything. They have seen quite a lot of wrestling history just in the state of Indiana and around. So,
Mike,
they are definitely probably the biggest wrestling super fans I know, because on top of that, Tony and Chris Gonzalez and Warren Misery do GWR Gonzo's Wrestling Room, part of their Gonzo Sports Room channel. I'll say I'm sorry if you don't like other people putting out stuff, but you know what I mean. They do a lot, not just showing up the shows. They do things outside of it. They support and promote and build up a lot of these wrestling companies that these people are either knowing or just now getting introduced to.
Mike, I got a triple threat question for you here. You like how I did that there? But anyway, if you look this up, I want you to look this up tonight. You probably have never heard about this. Maybe. Randy the Macho Man Savage, 1987. I was in the audience as a 9-year-old, Fort Wayne Coliseum. Arguably one of the top 5 matches in the history of wrestling was Macho Man against Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Macho Man hit him off the turnbuckles with the Intercontinental Championship and put a hole in Dragon's larynx, and he wasn't able to talk very well for 6 to 8 weeks during interviews. I'm only throwing that up because you've allowed me to live a part of my life that I never got to live, and I can't thank you enough, because you're going to see it, and I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but I'm going to be doing a little bit of promotional. I think we're really close to that finish line. This is going to air about a week to 10 days down. You've done a good job promoting that show. I'm going to tell you a funny story about the dub that you probably don't realize. So on the night of, help me out a little bit here, Cagemas was out around Christmas time. Am I right there?
Yes, December 27th.
Okay, what if I told you that there's steps leading up to where they have the cameras? And what if I told you I was the idiot that walked in expecting it to be a normal night and the place was bananas? Like, I'm not going to give audience numbers, but I'm going to tell you, can I say double what's normally there? And I'm probably being conservative. I do know this. I was literally told that I was the last person that was let in. Do you realize I stood up on the top step and was yelling down over the crowd and had so much fun because everything I said kind of like resonated, awesome. Like you could just hear it.
Yeah, I got that echo up there.
Yeah, so I hate to say it, but I was the jackwagon that was like trying to get everybody to do the wave, you know, in between and stuff. And it was so funny because I got to kind of be the heel, and then like I don't know, like there was a cheese grater out there, I believe, that night, and I got to say, hey, make him look, you know. Anyway, it was cool to live that moment and just be like part of the, you know, I was the heel for that time. But talk a little bit about the crowd of what it's like being in the squared circle with the cage around you, man. There's no let me be your opponent for a minute, and how do I feel when I can't escape from that cage? Say if I was matched up against you in that wrestling in the cage.
All right, so I'm gonna answer that, but first, because you talked about that step, I have a funny story about that. Because as I was training, obviously before I was ready to hit those shows and start having these matches, you know, you gotta help, you gotta pay your dues, and you gotta help out, you gotta get back to the business, right? So I was actually, as I was doing my training, every Friday for every show, I would be up there at the top of that step in that little area running the spotlight.
That's good
so,
stuff.
It's funny that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
So, because I was a spotlight guy, because I wanted to make sure that I had the best seat, that I could watch every single match and not, you know what I mean? Like, I could learn a lot from that position. You know, you have the best seat in the house, you're all the way up here, everybody's down there. If you want to do something with the crowd, say you want to get a chant going, just lean down, get a little echo in your voice.
Exactly.
Get pumped up, you know what I mean? But I am so sorry. What was the question? One more time?
Well, I guess
the case. Yes. Well, I first got in that cage. First off, you saw Andre Stray's ugly mug just staring at me so menacingly. You would have thought that, let's not even go there. But he had some weird look in his eye as I was stepping in, and that steel is very unforgiving. You know, it's got a lot, it does not have a lot of give. If you get into it the wrong way, you definitely hurt yourself. And especially if someone like Andre Stray wants to put you in that position, there's a lot more room for you to get hurt.
Yeah.
So when it came down to it, I knew I just had to be the tactician that I know I am. Take him down. Can't give him the opportunity. And luckily, at the end of the night, as you saw, maybe not, with some assistance from the chain to punch him in the face with, I won.
I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything.
Exactly. You know, some people maybe still. That's what other people say.
Yeah,
I think I have the most dangerous right hand in the game, to be honest.
Exactly.
But some people might think differently. Point being, though, as I got through that match and I got out the cage, the first thing I was thinking was, thank you, God.
Yeah.
Of course, it's like a release. Now let's talk powers a little bit. Let's talk your, is manager still the right term? Let me ask you that first.
We prefer advocates.
Advocates. Okay, sorry. And the reason I asked that, I'm not too prideful, man. I'm learning the game.
He steers me the right way.
Powers kind of does his thing. Talk to me a little bit about maybe his career up to this point and why you guys are a good, a team battling other badass stars.
Man, so TJ Powers, I know that he has had at least a 30 year career. I apologize. I do not know the entire exact numbers, but that man has so much knowledge in this business. He's wrestled Indiana. He's wrestled all over this country. He's done stuff with WCW, multiple other companies. Again, I couldn't name them all, and I could name them all, and it still wouldn't give him the proper justice. But the wisdom, the knowledge that man has passed down to me, he's taught me how to sit there and know when you gotta take advantage of a situation. You gotta learn to tune out those people. At this point, you know, you gotta revel in the fact that they might not like you. He's one of those people that really helped you kind of understand that hostile territory environment. Yep. And quite generally, the wrestling IQ on that man, I don't think is matched by anybody in that company. If they are matched by anybody in that company, it's a very seldom few. So I had the opportunity to work with him in the James Powers gang as I was first coming in. And he saw enough of a potential in me to want to take me more under his wing. I personally hope that I can just make the guy happy, make the guy proud, show him that he made the right choice.
That's the kind of guy to have, right? Like someone that you want to do good for, you know, just because you respect them.
It's great to have someone in your corner in this business, because I've been told it's very lonely. I felt that at small times, but luckily when he's around, I don't gotta worry about that as much.
View's lonely at the top, man, and you're doing it. So do this for me, man. I don't care what you talk about, man. We've talked wrestling, we've talked life, we've talked football, we've talked Velveeta cheese, man. Just give me a good sound bite. Take that any way you want, because we do the sound bites daily. Nick kills it. I'm just going to give you an opportunity to just give a sound bite. Upcoming event, whatever you want. Take it any way you want. 60, 90 seconds, because we're going to throw that out to the audience.
Or you can even promote yourself, whatever you want to do.
Fire away.
Gotcha. Well, this spring you'll see me at a couple places like Illinois and down south at Jeffersonville for ABW out west and TCW respectively. I am doing just constantly just trying to get my name out there and get these matches in. Put on banger every Friday after banger every Friday at the Outlaw Arena, because I'm Mr. Friday Night, obviously.
Right.
And really just looking to do more things like this with you guys and other places, you know. I'm just trying to get people to see the face of Mike Noble, Mr. Friday Night, Mr. Must See, and really just get familiar, because I'm going to be in this industry for a long time.
I love the confidence too. So where can people find you? Like if our audience wants to find more about you, what are ways they can get a hold of you? Through social media or whatever?
So my booking information, if the company is looking to hire me after this lovely conversation, is THEBOYNOBLE13 @gmail.com. That's the boy noble13 @gmail.com. Made it in college. Sorry. Instagram, you can find me at noble1313. Facebook and YouTube, you can find me at Mike Noble Wrestling. Other than that, working on getting my Twitter back on, and TikTok I deleted off my phone. So sadly, can't get back on my TikTok, so I'm not gonna plug it.
Now, Mike, did you just go a little? Did he go a little Jersey on us with that promo?
Well, I heard the cadence.
He wasn't trying to kick on the persona, but good job, man.
And I heard the cadence in the email, right?
Yeah.
Like what was it? THEBOYNOBLE.
He's trying to
love it, dude. That was awesome.
He's trying to drop bars, arm bars, and bars.
I've been in Indiana too long, man. It's going down a little bit, but give me a couple trips back to Jersey while I bring the belt home to the family.
There you go.
I'll be back.
There you go.
Awesome. Well, hey, man, Mike, thanks for being on with us. If you could.